Hey everyone, I'm Alyssa, an Indianapolis Colts cheerleader for the 2024 season, and this is Believe in Colts.
Welcome back to Believe in Colts. I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my guy, Donald Thomas. And today we're going to go over, it's not quite time to really preview a game. So we're going to do our expectations, predictions for the season, and kind of go from there. See what, I mean, there's a lot to go over in that type of aspect because we haven't done that yet this year. I mean, we've already had preseason training camp. We've had a bunch of different types of interviews and players and coaches and things of that nature. And it's time to hedge our bets. All right. So BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive 50% free bet up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here. Let's talk about that premier position on the defense that is a rookie this year. That expectations for Laiatu Latu is pretty high. I have them pretty high for myself. I had them high when the Indianapolis Colts drafted him. And from what I've seen, all the reports and what I've seen on the practice field and the preseason games, he's lived up to everything that I expected him to be. Now, he's not a 4-year vet yet. He's still got some learning to do. He's got a lot of stuff that, a young man needs to learn and develop. However, he's got a lot of upside. He's got a lot of moves. He's got a motor, and he's got a willingness to learn. And I think that in itself will allow him to become better and better as the season grows on in his rookie season. Mm-hmm. And I actually have higher expectations production-wise from Laiatu Latu than I do Anthony Richardson, which is kind of an odd thing to say, but I expect Latu to have a double-digit sack season. And I'm not saying he's going to have 15, 16 sacks, but I could see 10 to 12, and the Colts haven't had that since Justin Houston. I mean, years ago, right? We haven't had a double-digit sack guy and someone that can consistently get pressure on the quarterback, right? And things of that nature. So I have a pretty high expectation of Laiatu Latu this season. And I've stated that earlier, and I'm doubling down on that right now from everything I've seen. What are your thoughts about Laiatu Latu and your expectations for him?
Yeah, I mean, like I said last episode we did together, I was impressed by him. I think that they're putting him in a good position to be able to rush. I think he's going to be in some good sub packages where he can just go and be him. I question at least a little bit of the run game, him stopping the run. I think he's, big enough and stout enough to be able to stop the run. It's just stopping the run on the NFL level at a consistent level. I just want to see it, right? I want to see how he uses his hands, sets the edge. He's able to, penetrate, get into gaps, get back vertical, shoulder square to line of scrimmage to see where the ball's going. I just want that takes time and reps. But, what I was really impressed with was I think he had an NFL ready body. Like I was surprised by it. And like, here's the deal. Besides last night, right? LSU USC game. Nobody's watching West Coast football. I'm just going to throw it out there. Like, let's just be real. Like, UCLA comes on, and I'm like, had a long Saturday with the kids or whatever, and I sit down on the couch, and then finally the house is quiet, and I turn on ESPN, and I'm like, is this live? It's 11:30 at night. I'm like, who's watching this? So he flew under the radar for me, right? But now that I'm getting a chance to see him really play, I'm like, all right, man, this kid can go. So I'm really excited to see where his rookie season goes, right? Like before you said it, I was gonna say, I mean, I'll give him on the low end, I'm gonna give him at least 9 sacks, not 10. I'll give him 9 sacks this year. I mean, like I think he's gonna be in some packages where he'll be a little bit more fresh. He'll come in, hit him with some moves, create some pressure, get some sacks. I think he's gonna be the guy to watch out for that the Colts really needed to when you want to hit it right for a first round draft pick. I think they know that they're like, all right, yeah, we finally really hit it. And here's the deal: like I can't even compare Latu to Richardson when it comes to rookie seasons, just because it's a quarterback and it's a where there's so much less thinking to do. Like I'm not saying you're wrong, you're spot on right, but like that quarterback position is like either you're going to come in and you're going to have a Joe Burrow-ish year, you're going to have you're going to have like all these quarterbacks, Houston,
Stroud,
you're going to have a Stroud season, or are you going to have Justin Fields season, right? Or worse, right? Like no, but I'm just saying like there's like it's either here or there, and in the middle is like okay. You got to get better next year. So, like, he's here, and he's got to just make that jump. Unfortunately, he's still technically a rookie, but, Latu, I think he doesn't have a lot to think about. He knows how to get after the quarterback. He knows how to be disruptive. And quite frankly, I think he's going to be the guy that's going to be the bright spot. I think there's going to be some type of Latu kind of cheer or something like that where they're in the stands, like Colts fans will make one up when he makes a play. So I'm excited to see him go this year, man, for real.
Absolutely. I mean, the Colts players, both the first and second round rookies, the Colts players have said some pretty outstanding things about them. DeForest Buckner compared Latu with Bosa's rookie season when he was with Bosa over in San Francisco. He said he reminds him exactly like him. And I'm like, that's some pretty high praise, right? Yeah. I mean, Bosa came out the gates full steam ahead, and hasn't never looked back. And I'm hoping that's something that we get from Latu. The other rookie, which has had a pretty good training camp, some ups and downs, but pretty solid overall. Adonai Mitchell, right? Mm-hmm. And the player that spoke highly of him, well, Michael Pittman Jr. was talking about how he pulls Adonai Mitchell off to the side occasionally and drills his brain because, his get off on the snap, his getting off the line and getting away from man press and stuff of that nature is like elite coming out of college. And it's something that he needs to work on. So he's been picking AD's brain on his release. So that's nice. That's something that will help out a little bit. And that's pretty high praise coming from a guy who's consistently getting 90, 100 catches every season. And just got a massive contract coming up here as well for Michael Pittman Jr. But what are your thoughts on Adonai Mitchell? And do you think Adonai will end up cracking the starting lineup, or do you think he'll be sitting back for a while, coming in, giving guys breathers and stuff?
I think he's going to play a significant amount this year. He'll play more towards the middle to end of the season, just from injuries and things of that nature. But I do see him applying pressure to some of these guys that are starters. Mm-hmm. I think that, I praise Michael Pittman Jr. for being honest with the media when he said that. Hopefully he was being honest, but like if you see something that talent that somebody has, right? Like you're humble enough as a vet to be like, hey man, how you doing that? Like teach me a little bit something like that so I can add that to my repertoire. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like that speaks volumes for him because he did get paid a ton of money. Yeah, he could just be like, the hell with this kid. Like, I'm a rookie. He's a rookie. I got my money. I'm just gonna do what I do and whatever. But he's like, nah, let me try to get better. Like, yo, this, like, you see him get off the ball, his release, blah, blah. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I think that he does apply a little bit of pressure to some guys. I think that, to be honest with you, I think Alec Pierce is a guy that can see some of his catches go down if AD continues to get better.
Alex had a very, very big training camp in preseason.
He did. And so don't you do that though. last year he used to get working.
I was mad because they never threw to him. And then occasionally he would drop the ball. Not a lot, but when in important times, right?
Yes, when you needed it, it was like, come on. But I was always I'm still an Alec Pierce fan. I thought when I would come to training camp, he always made some good grabs. But it's different now. Like, you do it up in Westfield at Grand Park. I got to do it downtown, right? I got to do it on Capitol Avenue. So it's just a big difference, man, when the lights come on, who's going to perform. I think that AD has shown, some promising stuff in training camp. I think the Colts are excited to see where it goes. I don't think you just it's not set up just to throw him just right in the fire right now. I think he'll work his way in. Practice is going to be key for him. Just keep getting reps and timing down. And there's going to be an injury, unfortunately, that's going to, push him into getting more reps. And when he gets them, you got to make the best of him as a rookie. And that just goes for anyone, right? In any situation, when you get your shot, you make the best of it. So we'll see what happens with them. I think that the Colts have definitely upgraded their wide receiver group this year. I think they looked a lot better than they have in the past. I just, me and Reggie are still close. We talk at least 2 or 3 times a week, and he just seems like he's a lot more at ease a little bit than he was last year, with just like level of frustration as a coach and stuff like that, where he's more, this is a better group. They're getting it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, we'll see, man. I'm excited to see what he does, though. I'm excited.
Oh yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited because this is a potentially, depending upon how Anthony Richardson develops and comes out and plays this year, this is potentially a very dangerous offense across the board. Great offensive line, improved wide receivers, and Jonathan Taylor, tight ends that you need a couple to step up, or at least one of them to step up. But their talent is there at the tight end. They just need to do it. The thing that scares me the most is the secondary and the defense. It is what it is. I understand that they were young, but we gave up too many big plays last year over the top, where safeties would bite right on underneath routes or draw play action or something of that nature, and they just get torched over the top. And you can't have that. You just the safety's called a safety for a reason, right? Yeah. Now, who's going to end up? Obviously, one of the safeties is Julian Blackman. He just signed that contract and he's extended. But the other one, that's the question mark. Who's going to be that guy to step up and be an eraser, basically, right? To stop that big play from happening. When we're going up against Texas right out the gate, and they've got weapon upon weapon upon weapon at the wide receiver position, right? And CJ Stroud that has no qualms throwing it downfield.
None. Yeah.
So they better be on, whoever's playing that free safety position need to be on top of their game.
Yes. It is a big question mark. I think that we're all tired from that being the weaker spot. I think I don't know, man. It's one thing where you can't let veteran guys go, and I think Blackman has done enough to justify him getting rewarded. I don't know, like Nick, he's not bad, but it's not great either, right? And
I like what he does in the underneath stuff. I just
deep balls and stuff like that is just
And Rodney Thomas, he can't catch anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I like Rodney a lot, man.
I do too.
I like Rodney a lot. It's, you know what? Here's the deal. I think the D line's gonna be good enough to bail them out where they get pressure on the quarterback to make their job a little bit easier, But in the case that they don't, here's the thing: like, we didn't blitz a lot last year, so we also had those linebackers in coverage too, kind of helping out. But the over the top stuff, I get it. It just comes down to discipline, man. These guys are young still, and they got to keep their eyes out of the backfield. They got to play the man in front of them or play their coverage and not bite on the play action, right? Like, let the linebackers bite on him, and you're the safety. Come downhill, clean it up, right? Like, you can't everybody can't bite, and then there's the ball.
Yeah. You're biting too much, seeing a big play before it ever happens right in front of you, thinking, ooh, if I jump this route, I can get an interception or something. And then you jump, and then no, you done bit on that daggone pump fake, and now it's over your head. You can't have that. You can't.
No, I agree. I think that it's still work in progress. Unfortunately, week 1 is upon us. It's here. There's no running from it. So we shall see what happens on Sunday. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see with this group. I think that we can stop saying they're a young group, though. I mean, I get it, from Juju to
Jalen.
Yeah, to Jay. The list goes on and on. I think Dallas Flowers is the wild card for the corners.
Mm-hmm.
I like Dallas a lot. I like his style of play. I think he's aggressive. He's not scared to stick his nose in there. I think his coverage wise, he gets beat on a couple things, but for the most part, he's scrappy. I want to see Juju step up.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Juju step up. That's why I really am looking forward to seeing play healthy this year and stepping up and playing well.
See, I think we have the corners to play man more, especially the style of corners we have, because Juju and Jalen are not fast guys. Dallas is a fast dude, right? That's why he might get beat on a double move or something, and then he's got the speed to make up for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, Juju and Jalen, they don't have the speed to make up for that stuff. They're more right in the face, type cornerbacks, right?
Yeah.
Long arms, able to reach in and knock things away or whatnot. I'm wondering if maybe Gus will start playing a little more man this year than what, his regular, cover 3 zone that he generally does with a 13% blitz percentage. That's what? Averaging 4 blitzes a game? That's nasty. To me, that's just basically telling the other, we're playing vanilla, the whole game. I might send a blitz on 3rd and 12, if it ever shows its face.
unless it's mandated for him to play a different style, he ain't playing a different style.
I know, because he's set and he's been doing.
That's who they are. I mean, like we said it last. Like, they all have their trademarks of how they call offenses, call defenses. They ain't changing. If you want them changing, you might as well just kick me out the building, because this is a style that I want to play. Like, if you hired me to, so as Colts fans, we just have to. It's not what we're used to from the past, right?
Yeah.
But it was effective to a degree because we had the defensive line to allow us to not have to pressure as much.
Yes.
And we still do.
One of the reasons why we grabbed Latu is one of the reasons why Ballard grabbed Latu, at the 15th pick, was to help with the pressures.
Yeah.
But in that zone, you got to get after the quarterback with the front 4, and the safety has to keep everything in front of them. And if you don't, it's a broken play, right?
100%. Yep. I agree. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that it was going to be the same defense we saw last year, but just with some new moving parts. But you all right?
Sinuses. I needed to sneeze.
Oh, okay. You scared me for a second there. I was like, what did I say wrong?
No.
Yeah, no, I think there'll be, with a new few moving parts that are kind of an upgrade. So expect the expected, and hopefully that things work out a little bit better in the favor of the Colts this year, as far as not breaking down and winning some more football games than they did last year.
A guy I need to kind of shout out for that I think needs to step up his game a little bit that we don't talk about like ever, and that's in the linebacking core.
I knew EJ.
EJ Speed.
I knew you were about to say it.
EJ needs to step up and start getting his hands on the ball occasionally. That's his forte, right? I mean, he's long, he's fast. I get, making tackles, that's what linebackers are supposed to do. But he's got the skills, the physical abilities to do. Asking him to be a Shaquille Leonard is a little bit high, too much of a ceiling. But when your coverage, I'd like to see a few things in coverage that I haven't seen from him since he's been out there. And I think he's got the abilities to do it. He's just got to do it. Right. And he's got his own, him and Z, they got their own podcast, and he likes to talk his shit. I want to see him back it up a little bit on the field. All right. I want to see him get better. They talk about how, they're disrespected and linebacker comps and ratings, rankings of linebackers. Well, shut them up. Go out there and show it, because the one thing that we were able to do at all last year was get turnovers. We were awful at getting turnovers. And I mean, the defensive front, they could get, forced fumbles occasionally or force them, but the linebackers are around the ball more than anyone else. And they're the ones that need to come up and force turnovers, get picks, things of that nature, in my opinion. And it's time for them to do it.
Well, I mean, you're going to get disrespected or overlooked when you don't win football games.
Mm-hmm.
So as football players, it's a pride thing, because you feel like you bring a lot to the table and you feel like your numbers are there defensively to, warrant the words that you're putting out when you talk about it. And you're actually in the fire, I can play this game, right? But you got to win football games. You can't be a team that doesn't win the division, or doesn't make the play. You just can't be that team and then expect for people to respect you. Yeah. No one's going to say you got a great offensive line and y'all never make the playoffs. No one's going to say you got this great quarterback and you never make the playoffs, right? Like, the reason why I knew Matt Stafford was so good was because I actually played there, and I saw how talented he was. We just couldn't have a complete team. So, but no one was like, hey, every year Matt Stafford's a top 100 player, right? Because you weren't winning football games. So when it comes down to it, it's like you got to win football games. I think that EJ has, like I said about Anthony, all the intangibles. Not the biggest linebacker, more of a wiry, rangy kind of guy. Offensive lineman's kind of nightmare if he doesn't run downhill, because you want him to run downhill. Like, come on, we can run downhill all day. Like, you're just too light in the ass for that. So, like, I'll take that block on all day. But it's like when you're zoning up to him and he's moving, he sees it, he reads it, you better get moving, because he's got the speed and elusiveness to dip under that block and get there. But and I watch him do it. Like, I watch him play like that.
Oh, yeah.
He'll get in there and make that play because he's faster than that offensive lineman come up to block him. And he reads plays well too. He reads plays well. That's one thing I think that really helps him out, is he reads well. But like you said, in coverage. Now, you stick him on a tight end, he's covering him all day. He's covering the tight end all day.
The problem is the Colts are in zone.
I know.
So he's not.
That's why I'm saying, like, he'll cover him all day. But when you stick him in zone, like, here by now, though, you should be a pretty good zone coverage linebacker, right? Yep. And so I see what you're saying when you say get your hand on the ball, get in there, blah blah blah, because you should know how to read that. You should know where you're at, who's coming through your zone, how to break on the ball, get there, whatever. I get that. So, but I knew you were going to say EJ. I just knew it. Like something that's like, I think EJ flies under the radar.
He does.
I think EJ, rightfully so, I see why he's frustrated. I see it, but you got to win football games. And that's what it comes down to. I think he's a damn good linebacker that's proven himself over the past, few years of stepping up.
Oh, he's definitely earned his starting spot.
Yeah, like he stepped up when Leonard was hurt the whole time. That was perfect scenarios. Came in and it was like, now we don't need to go on the street and grab somebody. EJ's playing well.
I just want him to take that next step.
But everybody does. But sometimes, and I'm not saying this for EJ, sometimes there's a ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to have a Hall of Fame player at every position and just, or just a quality guy, but like everybody's not. So if this is the best version of them, maybe yes or no, I don't know. But
I'm not expecting EJ to be a peanut punch guy because that was probably not his forte. But I'm sure he could get his hands on a ball occasionally while it's in the air. Whether knocking it down or getting a pick or something, he's got the long arms, he's got the speed, he's got the ability. He's just got to read and react just a little bit quicker, I think, in order to make those things happen. Because there's been so many times I watched his fingers just barely miss a ball while it's in the air. And had he reacted just a little bit quicker or read that quarterback's eyes just a little bit better, I think he could have got it. So and I'm not saying it has to be a big jump, just a little jump up in the coverage section. And I think he becomes that guy that we need in the coverage.
This might be the year where he makes that jump.
I hope so. I hope so.
Be the year. As long as guys recognize their inefficiencies, that's when you find out who real pros are because they work on those things.
Now, I know last week you said you weren't ready to do a win-loss record, but the season starts next week, this upcoming week. You still don't want to?
I want to be able to go to Kroger and be safe. Kroger's my spot, man. Kroger and Target. If you're in Carmel, and you might see me in Kroger and Target because I'm always in there looking for the best deals. But
it's a tough one because of Richardson.
It is, man. It could go either way. Mm-hmm. Like it could go either. You could be a 11, 12 win team, or you could be a 6, 7 win team.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that we at least win 9. I think we're as good as the Minshew.
You're trying to be safe. 9 is a safe bet.
That 9 is a safe bet. That's what I'm saying. We're going to at least win 9. I think. I'll go on the table and say I think we end up 10-7 and probably get a wild card spot. That's my prediction for the season. I think that we're at least one game better than what we were last year. We brought everyone back. We brought extra people in. We've improved as a football team, right? Just the addition of the rookies themselves and keeping all of our good players from last year.
Yeah, that
in and of itself makes us a better football team than what we were last year. And we won 9 games. Huh? Hypothetically, on paper, right?
Because what's incredible is every year you've got to put that group back together. No matter you keep them together, but you still have to put them back together. If that makes sense, like you would keep your core. You really didn't lose a lot of guys, so like the teams here with some extra additions on top, they got to mold in and they got to fit in as well. But we also have to come back and have a better mindset, and everyone's got to believe and everyone's got to buy in to what we're all trying to accomplish here. That's why it's so unique. And that's where it comes down to coaching.
Yeah.
That's where it comes down to coaching. That's where it comes down to Shane making sure that team believes in him and he believes in his team and everybody believes in one goal.
Mm-hmm.
And the Colts could be as good as they want to be as long as they believe in one goal. The minute that everyone's not bought in is where you find things start to fall apart. Now, when you come to a game, you don't see it with the naked eye, but why aren't we winning? Well, observe the whole deal, right? See what's going on. Like who's all the way in, who's not in, and I'm just telling you right now, it's got to come down to the leader of the team. The leaders of the team have got to be those guys to make sure everyone's together. So if you have a leader on offense that's doing his own thing or not all the way in or not a leader, it can be interesting to see. And that's when you see things fall apart. But I'm gonna give them, I was gonna say 10-7, to be honest with you. I didn't want to say 11-6 because I felt like that's a little bit lofty.
That's
I'm gonna say 10-7 though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say 10-7. A 10-7 football team this year is not terrible. Excuse me. I mean, could be better, right? You want to be
improvement over last year with a tougher on paper schedule, right?
Yes, yeah. But we'll see, man. There's so much that goes into NFL season. There's so much goes in, and it's also long early.
If the Colts lose week 1, don't lose your shit.
No.
Because, and I say this every year right before the season starts. Majority NFL teams, you don't see what they are till week 3 or 4. They're still finding themselves, right?
Yeah.
Week 1, week 2, kind of settling in, getting into their groove, finding out what they're going to be good at, what they need to do. So there's going to be, you're going to find some stuff out this upcoming week 1 game because Texas is a damn good football team. But yeah, I wouldn't lose it too much if we get blown out, then I might, if Richardson gets hurt for the season or something.
No, we're not going to wood.
Yeah, we don't need none of that, but yeah, we'll break down that on the next episode of this show
because I was about to say something. I'll wait.
Yeah. We'll break down the upcoming game on the next episode. Should be out later this week. But any final words?
Yeah, so check this out. If you guys are watching at home, cars, spread the word, man.
Yeah.
I think to be honest, Lawrence, I think we dropped some gems up here. Just the perspective and how we bounce things off each other. In the talks, and as we continue to do this, like I'm starting not to hold my tongue more. You're probably noticing that more, but I think, people, whether they want to hear it or not, I'm just telling you, like, my perspective, but I'm giving it, we're giving it, it's just different. So, like, spread the word, man. Like the more people that can watch and we get the followers up and all that kind of good stuff, I think it's just going to make the show better, man. So I'm excited for this year. I'm telling you guys now, strap up because it's gonna be a wild one. Put it like that. It's gonna be a wild ride, but a fun one at that. I think every week's gonna be something crazy to talk about. It wouldn't be if it wasn't, then it'll be boring, right? And then that's
right.
It's not the NFL, so there's gonna be crazy stuff to talk about, and I'm excited for it. I'm here for it.
Absolutely. I'm not going to hold back. It's not going to be. This is not a sugarcoat show. It's also not all lemons, right? We're just going to tell you how we feel, and if something pisses us off, we're going to let you know, and if we're proud about something, we're going to let you know that as well. So, and then of course the analysis that we're going to have from week to week. Well, like he said, hit that like button, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to this on an audio podcast, leave a review and a rating. We'd appreciate it, and share it your favorite social media. Tell your friends, tell your family about the show. Get everyone to come in and hang out. Give us comments in the comment section so that we can see what your thoughts are as well, and maybe it'll give us ideas for talking points on the next show. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Donald Thomas. This was Believe in Colts, brought to you by Bet Online, and as usual, go Colts.
Go Colts.
Do you believe?